honored to have this press conference this morning to explain to the public what is exactly taking place in this ministry after the presidential directives. But before going further, I thank the press and different press houses in South Sudan. We are acquainted that when we call you within the shortest notes, you always come. You are really doing your national duties properly, and we are proud of you. The reason for calling this press conference is to explain three major issues regarding the education. One is the new academic calendar. This is not the first time that we declared it here. It was declared by Honorable Minister that we have started a new academic year. And she also declared that we will take punctuality very seriously, that all the secondary schools and all the primary schools must open in the right time, that from February to December. In light of this, we are accelerating the marking of primary school leaving certificate. I was there yesterday. They are doing their best. The work is going, is settled, and we will soon declare the primary school certificate. I don't want to give you a definite date because the work is going. They are doing it diligently, as efficient as possible. Once the primary school certificate is declared, we'll have first year in the secondary school in time, not like last year. Last year we were bogged down by so many hurdles. And on top of that, it's the COVID-19 pandemic. But this year, we are determined to see to it that we implement this program. Number two is the secondary school certificate. That's why I said the Secretary General of the Examination Council is coming from the airport. As of yesterday, all the examination papers arrived in all the centers all over South Sudan. It's not really easy. You are aware of natural disaster, especially in greater Upper Nile region. It's really not easy. You also heard that we had one plane crash when we were distributing the examination, primary examination, simply because the trips were populated by people. That's the only high ground. So the plane missed the runway and ended up in a tukul and killed a pregnant lady, unfortunately. Now, the bell will be rang by President in one of our states, and that will kick off the process of secondary school certificate. And we hope after a week, we will have all the papers back a week after sitting the examination. Because some of the areas are really very difficult to access, really. And we'll do the same with secondary school certificate, try to mark them as quick as possible so that we declare the certificates, and first year secondary school enrolled. No, sorry, the first year university will declare the results, and then the candidates, those who want to go to the university, those who want to go for scholarship, so that the first year in the university enrolled in the right time. God willingly, hope everything will go okay, and we are determined to see to that we implement the new economic year properly and at the right time. That's the first thing I want to assure our public about it. Because it's always worry that we are not processing the examination in the right time. The first year in the secondary school is admitted after 2 months and 3 months. And the first year in the university takes also time. But most of these difficulties, we have overcome it. That's the first thing. The second, you are all aware, His Excellency the President issued presidential order reinforcing the Constitution that the 2 levels of education are free. That is the primary and secondary school. And Minister also declared here that we have received capitation grants for all the schools in South Sudan. I mean the public schools, not private schools. Yes, this money is in our account, and we are sending this money to individual schools, not to the Ministry of Education, direct to individual schools, so that this money benefits the students, the teachers, for the first time. After we announced this here, we were surprised that the schools have mushroomed, the schools have increased. Some of the countries have 150 schools, and others are even more than that. These schools are non-existing. Some of them, so many people studying these schools. All are non-existing. Visitor schools and students studying in those believed to be those schools. It is very unfortunate. We are therefore declaring here that we will not transfer capitation grant to their schools unless we prove that that school is existing and there are children learning in that school. And this is going to take place immediately. Yes, we know there are schools which are really functioning, and this will have no problem. If they have their bank accounts, the money will be remitted straight to the bank accounts. We are here declaring to the public that anybody creating non-existing schools and registering fixed students will not pay money to those schools. We will send our own inspectors, directors, director generals to verify that those schools are existing. We are also, unfortunately, surprised that there are school administrators, the public school administrators, still charging children even more higher than expected. We are here warning those school administrators, the public school administrators who are doing this. They will be accountable and will take them. They will be arrested and taken to competent court, because this is a violation of our constitution, a violation of order of His Excellency the President, and the policy of the general education, that the two levels are free. Free here, I mean everything. You are aware people are charging for what, and this is for what? No. It's total free. That's why we have the capitation grant that will cater for all the school needs. The third issue that I want the public to know is that there are schools who call themselves community schools, but they are actually private schools, by the way. See, these people have posed themselves as public schools, and I believe to register many students as possible, and they expect the money to go from here to them. This is not acceptable. I visited one of these schools. It's called community school. What is the definition of community school? Community school is most probably in the areas where the government is no public school, then the community erects any structure, and then sometimes even under big trees, see, and then they have their own community volunteers to teach. And in such situation, we intervene by providing the school with a good structure and even provide the teachers. But the so-called community schools are disguised as community schools, but they're actually private schools and charging very expensively. We are here declaring that those schools will not be recognized by us, and they are private schools, so they don't deserve the capitation of grounds. They are also faith-based schools, and we are very grateful to them. They are faith-based schools in most of our states and administrative areas. These schools are doing well. I remember a number of schools built by Bishop Farid Taban, and most of these schools are in eastern Equatoria. Big number of students and children are learning in those schools. See? They finance those schools. So it's financed by the Catholic Church. There are also Islamic schools. Islamic schools in Juba, Town. I'm only aware that they have schools in Juba Town. They finance those schools on their own. They don't request funds for running those schools. But the so-called community schools are not public schools. they are not faith-based schools, they are private schools. And we'll have to inspect those schools, and I will instruct the Director General for Basic and Secondary School Education to take action immediately. Finally, we will close down the schools, public schools, the schools that are not adhering strictly to the presidential order, to the policy of the Act of, Education Act, and all the memo written from this ministry by Undersecretary to all the authorities in all our public schools in the whole country. The worst situation. There are schools well built, there's furniture, there is everything, but the teachers are not teaching in the classes. They sit under the trees playing Mongola for the whole day. And at the end of the month, they expect us to pay them. This has been in almost all the 10 states. It's very unfortunate. In some of the counties and the Ministry of State Education in the states, Ministry of Education in the states, they have become all directors. You find the Ministry of Education have 80 qualified school teachers sitting there, and only the volunteers teaching. But when money is sent from here to that end, they claim that volunteers are not employed, so they don't give them the money. See? I am really grateful to those volunteers, all over South Sudan, who volunteers to teach. We do not employ them. They are not trained, see. But they are doing their best to teach our children. And we want to empower them. First of all, we want to recruit them as teachers. Secondly, we want to train them. And if we have the chance, some friendly countries say they will give us scholarship, which we think should only be for training the teachers and Gov't. So we want to assure the volunteers that soon they will be employed. And of course, we cannot just employ anybody. They must be qualified. They must be qualified to teach either in the primary level or in secondary level. And then they will be trained. We have prepared 2 training institutes. One is in Meridi. Will soon start to function properly. We have renovated it. And the second one is Rambur Training Institute. It's in the outskirts of Juba. We are doing our best to maintain it, employ new teachers. It has been functional, but unfortunately, because of a lot of issues, including the feeding, the students just abandoned the institute. These are the things I want to do as our press to communicate to the public, and that we're serious about those who will be violating this. We'll take them to the court, and they will go and defend themselves there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. see the statement focus on a number of things. One,